Over at DC Comics, the publisher is headed in a bit of a different direction with the We Are Legends publishing initiative, where several new heroes are set to take shape over in the DC universe. Over in Lazarus Planet and Spirit World #1, we saw new DC hero Xanthe Zhao really make their own as a character who has a fascinating ability of being able to turn joss paper into real life objects. One of Xanthe's allies, Cassandra Cain, ended up being trapped over in the spirit world, and Xanthe was able to go ahead and team up with John Constantine in order to save her. My name is Arako Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and see if Xanthe is able to save Cassandra over from the spirit world. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our contents. And I want to go ahead and kick off our video review over for Spirit World #2 by reading DC Comics solicitation text for the issue. With Cassandra Cain still stuck in the spirit world, Xanthe and Constantine are hoping the one portal they found, which is quickly closing, is their one-way ticket to the land of the dead to help rescue Batgirl. Cass has made two spirit friends along the way who have given her a special cloak that helps her mask her living flesh stench to keep the other spirits from eating her. But can they be trusted? And hey, what's in this tea they just gave her? Want to go ahead and introduce our creative team over on Spirit World issue #2. This one is written over from Alyssa Wong, featuring art over from Haining, colors from Sebastian Cheng, letters from Janice Chiang, and the cover is also coming in from Haining and Cheng as well. I want to go ahead and show you a quick glimpse over at the cover for Spirit World issue #2 from DC Comics. Again, I'm really impressed with some of the kind of framing, the kind of colors over on some of these covers, and the fascinating way that kind of all the characters, whether they're in the land of the living or the spirit world, are represented over on this cover from Haining. Really hope that Haining will kind of continue working on more DC projects following Spirit World. Would love to see even more contributions from Haining over at DC. And I want to go ahead and extend a quick thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting some of these preview pages so incredibly fast over in this issue. Frankly, I think that the second issue of Spirit World is really focused on the origin of Xanthe in order to deal with some of the fallout that happened from the previous issue. So it's really interesting getting Xanthe's kind of perspective over on some of these stories, and also realizing some of the kind of intricacies over with their origin. Really enjoyed all the kind of fascinating ways that the origin of Xanthe was kind of recontextualized. Also, over in the spirit world, we kind of continue that focus over with characters like Cassandra Kane as well. Really fascinating watching Cassandra Kane fight back over against the collective in the issue. One thing I liked about this issue in particular is how much it sort of amped up the plot of the series as well. Over with Lazarus Planet, we sort of got the inciting incident where Cassandra Cain was kind of trapped over in the spirit world. And in the debut chapter, we were just watching the characters kind of slowly inch forward to go ahead and rescue her. Thankfully, though, over in the kind of last couple pages of Spirit World 2, the status quo kind of moves forward really, really slowly. And that was something that I was really looking for from writer Alyssa Wong, as well as some of the artwork from Haining. So I think this one is really paced very kind of precisely and will hopefully inform future issues in a really fantastic way here. Also, I think some of the discussions between Xanthe and the rest of their family is very fascinating, very kind of weighty. And also, there's a bit about Xanthe's origin that's also unveiled here that's really interesting to kind of witness here. Also, I do think that Haining is able to kind of deliver quite the spectrum of art here, because in some pages, this is just kind of a talking head scene between some of Xanthe's mysterious family. But in other moments of the issue, with the kind of Cassandra Cain subplot over in the spirit world, it does seem like the stakes for this series get extremely, extremely high. Also, I don't want to give away quite what happens over in the ending, but I really do think that Haining found a way to really kind of ramp up, Haining's wonderful art in this issue. There was a page kind of very close to the end of the story as well that featured a panel border that was so incredibly kind of creative throughout this story. Heining's expressions for several characters are really kind of nuanced and detailed as well. And that sense of architecture is really kind of built out across each and every page throughout Spirit World #2. So, really think that there's so many kind of intriguing aspects of this story. One thing I really didn't find, but actually noticed it here over in this issue, was the fact that we finally gave John Constantine a little bit more kind of narration and a little bit of a stronger character arc over in this issue. So, really liked some of the kind of internal struggles that he was dealing with. And I'd love to see DC kind of dial up those elements even further here, because I do think there's a really interesting kind of core group of cast members between this book, between Cassandra Cain, Xanthe, and Constantine. Would love to see them operate more as like a trio over in this story as well. So overall here, I am still incredibly happy over with Spirit World from DC Comics. I think this book does a great job balancing the subplots between what Xanthe is kind of going through over in the DC universe along with Cassandra Cain. I also really enjoy the way that this series is starting to implement Constantine and some of the kind of forces that Cassandra is battling with alongside Bowen in the spirit world are absolutely just fascinating to look at. And I think that Haining is really able to capture, some of the demons over in this chapter with just incredibly precise and wonderful line. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts over on Spirit World #2? Are you still keeping up with this series and enjoying it? And what are your thoughts on some of the other We Are Legends titles coming in over from DC Comics? Well, I want to thank you so much for coming to check out our review of Spirit World #2. We'll be back covering everything DC Comics and We Are Legends in the near future. Thank you so much for coming to check out our content, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent DC Comics videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.